Hey, y'all, happy Friday. Welcome into the building, okay? It's Friday trending topics. It's the late train. Did I put it in? The night train I put, okay? I meant to put the late night train, but I put the night train. It is the late night train. I was rushing. I got to fix that later. But we came to talk Kenya Moore. Y'all was fired up with me. Y'all was like, no way, Diva. Kenya Moore would never do such a thing. She been going low since the moment she came on the show. But this right here is gutter low. Gutter low. She been going low since the moment she came on the show. And listen, nobody's always 100% right, but sometimes people are right. And Nene Leakes says she's going to declass the show. And lo and behold, here we are, 2024, and what did she do? She declassed the show. To the point where they suspended production, and listen, no work, no pay. No work, no pay. They suspended production, and they suspended her. And I heard the cast was ordered not to even associate with her. Don't say nothing. You want your check? Shut up. You can't do these shenanigans in the workplace. Did she not remember that Phaedra Parks, right, got fired for a rumor? She got fired for spreading a rumor. So you want to show actual pictures? Allegedly? And you going to think that's cool? Yeah, she going with the wind now. So she does a live today. I think it was about 16 minutes long. She had the nerve in that live to say, don't tear down a woman. I'm a single mother. I'm raising a daughter. I don't get any child support. Girl, you knew that before you did those shenanigans in your own shop. What are you, dumb, stupid, or both? You mad because people are trolling your shop. Now, don't get it twisted. That's wrong. But you mad because people are trolling your shop. Well, you brought that energy into your shop. Now, y'all know, I don't know what y'all believe out there. I believe in God. I promise you this. My house was empty. Didn't have a speck of furniture in my home. And the people came and prayed in my home. And I promise you this, ain't no shenanigans go down in this home since the moment I've been living in here. You want to bring nonsense into your shop, but then you want your shop to go well. You want to do other black women dirty, but then you get mad when somebody doing you dirty. Have you ever heard of you reap what you sow? Did somebody send you that memo? Did you get and understand that concept? You saying people are tearing down you, but you tearing down this sister by putting up pictures of her. You called her an insurance whore, allegedly, according to the video, the footage, audio footage that was going around right now. You said she sells herself. You called her a cheap whore because you said she only charged $1,400, allegedly. This was the audio. So now on your Instagram live, talking about you got to feed your daughter. You a single mom. Well, girl, you better wake up and do a Google search. You're not the only single mom in this world. There's plenty of them. This is your first brick and mortar store, and you poured a lot of money into it. Girl, did you not do any research? And y'all beat me up on this too. I said, first of all, she shouldn't have been opening this store. I said this way back then. Go find the video. And I also said, I've been going to hairstylists my whole entire life. I'm not one that could do my own hair. God bless the people that can. And all of them that I know that own successful salons, they know how to do hair. I said, she don't even have a cosmetology degree or certificate or whatever. So that means if her stylist wakes up and decides not to show up that day, she can't even service the clients. If you open a restaurant and you never worked in a restaurant, you a whole fool. You better know how to work the front of the house, the back of the house, how to bust the tables. And if your cook don't show up, you better know that menu and be able to cook or something, or you're going to fail as a restaurant owner. This is simple, basic 101 business. Have you ever taken a business class? This is 101. And they always tell you, as an entrepreneur, do something you love, do something you know, especially your first time out the gate. Why? You got to have a passion for that thing. You got to know it. You got to understand what you're doing. So here she is on there talking about, people, please show up. Come get your hair done. You got to pay for your hair. Whoa, 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 whoa. Can we get a whoa, whoa, whoa? First of all, most people on Instagram that do hair, the way they attract people is by showing pictures of their clients and their hairdo. When I was trying to look for a braider in New Jersey because my braider was in New York and I got tired of crossing the bridge, I was looking at the Instagram photos, seeing their work, then calling them and making sure that was really their work. Then going there and doing a consultation and all of that. And making sure I text them a picture. That's a good thing about the internet now. I text them a picture. My hair is this long. Can you braid it before I get out there and give you this $50 deposit? Do you have gray hair? I ask all those questions. But I'm not going to you blindly. I need to see some of your clients and the hairdos that you have done. And a lot of people, they're not into these paying all this money. A lot of people are looking on a YouTube video and doing their own hair. I seen people cut their own hair. I'm not that girl, but many people are. They watch the YouTube video and they do it. So what are you offering that's going to bring these people in? Just because you Kenya Moore and the salon is pretty? If you know these people that go to the braid shops, some of these braid shops, they are the most disgusting places I have seen. Some of them. And the people are going there getting their hair done. So what is my point? What is your point, Diva? My point is, people don't care about pretty that much. What they care about is, can you do their hair? And somebody sent her the memo because she's a Black sister. I want to be successful. But the people are into several things right here. They are into either natural hair care, or they want them a lace front, or they want them some braids. And you in the salon talking about you going to steam their hair. Girl, that ain't what most of the people want these days. These people are walking around, they want bundles. You should have collaborated with what's her name, Portia, in that Go Naked hair, and collaborate on her, have bundles and bundles up in that shop, and have some people that could do some lace fronts and put them wigs on. How you not gonna know the business you in? I know about the hair because I'm constantly in somebody's salon. I've been in them all my life. And I can tell you what the people want. So you open this thing because you thought it was cute. Kenya Moore hair care. Kenya Moore hair care. But Kenya, what do you know about hair? So you do this live, talking about support Black women. Don't talk about Black women. You a single mother and you not going nowhere. Well, right now, you're not going on the set of any Real Housewives of Atlanta. All because you thought it was a kiki and a ha-ha to expose your fellow sister, and you want to sit up on your live tonight and tell us support your sister. Let me tell you something. Most people that work, they need their check. I don't know too many people that are working and they don't have to. She fumbled a bag. And she fumbled a $2 million bag. You got to be dumb, stupid, or both. A $2 million bag. And now she want to cry saying she not divorced. But I thought she told her she was divorced. But now she's saying she not divorced. She don't get no child support. She don't get this. She don't get that. She a single mother. Well, girl, you probably talking to a whole bunch of single mothers in your chat. And you knew when you wanted to unveil them posters in your shop, you knew you was a single mother. You played yourself. And it's costing you big time. And I heard that this Sweet 16 season wasn't supposed to air to 2025 anyway. So you know how the people are fickle. Out of sight, out of mind. So that means we ain't seeing y'all the whole 2024. We wasn't supposed to see y'all the 2025. And now we might not see you at all. You costing Bravo money. If they got to cut that whole scene out, that is money. They're already dealing with it with Portia. If Portia drove up anywhere, any scene in that Rolls Royce, they got to cut it out. Kenya, girl, you messed up. And you out here at 53 playing stupid games. Girl, you should have known better. Should have known better. But now you want to sit up here and humble yourself talking about please come to the shop. Girl, your shop, they could come to that shop. You're not raking in $2 million. And the rent on that place probably is like anywhere from $15,000 to $30,000 a month. She said on her own live, this is not diva. Y'all know me, I don't talk out the side of my neck. She said on her own live that she poured in tons of money and is hurting her pockets into that shop. Now this girl got hair care products. Why wouldn't she, instead of opening that shop, why wouldn't she have promoted to no end her hair care products online? And she should have spoke to Stormy from Love and Marriage Huntsville. That chick is raking in the dough. Stormy did a TikTok live because they got like Amazon Live, they sell stuff. She did a TikTok live with her body glaze and her products. She don't have no brick and mortar store. She sold $1 million in one day of products. Speak to Stormy. Sometimes people got to humble themselves. I have told y'all, if you've been following me for a while, I have told y'all, come on, Candace Beauty. I have told y'all many a times, followed a lot of YouTubers, and whether nobody does everything 100% perfect, but the things they did good that I like, I put a little note. Oh, okay. I think I'm going to tweak it and follow that. That's a good tip. Oh, this is what you did. Oh, you made sure you trademarked your name. Okay, boom. Let me get a trademark. Oh, you said you're going to eventually, okay, let me organize myself and do X, Y, Z. You a fool if you want to walk around this world thinking you know everything. If somebody is in the same business that you want to go in and they already paved the road, why would you sit over here and pave another road? So you could call yourself better and different? No, if you already bust down the door, let me walk through that door you bust down. And I'm going to say thank you to you. Now, when I start to go other paths and I got to bust down some of those doors, I'll bust them down. And when I do, I look behind me and say, hey, don't kill yourself. Come through this door right here because I already busted down. If you're going to make you some hair products, some hair oil, shampoo, or whatever, call Stormy. Say, girl, I see you. You killing the game. Can you give me some tips? The worst the person will do is say no. All right, you tried. But you got to study them too. So you open this brick and mortar store and then you don't even buy the property. I promise you, I know one stylist, he bought the building where he built his hair care salon. That way you don't ever have to worry about a landlord raising your rent because you own it. Before you go into business, it would be smart of you to take a business class, Business 101. Or else you're going to be sitting on the Instagram talking about, wow, this is a lot of money. Girl, did you Google how much a sink was going to cost? How about this? After you Google how much the sink was going to cost, did you Google when that thing break down how much you're going to have to pay to get it fixed? I got to move on. I'm about to let the people in the building. And then I added to this Kenya Moore story is this principle. You know, first of all, we talk about the Diddies of the world, but I'm telling you, it's Diddy, it's your next door neighbor, it's a whole bunch of celebrities. But it's what's interesting, and I did say this the other night, it depends on who's doing the essaying, because some people y'all will excuse, other people y'all want to hold to the cross. What's going on with the Lizzo case? Kenya Moore thinks she can get away with this situation here. She thinks it was a kiki or ha-ha. But I bet you all the money in the world, if a man would have did this to a female, the people would be falling out right now. They'd be passing out on the floor, and they wouldn't call for no suspension. They would be calling for that man to get fired. If a man on a reality show had an opening of anything or any party, and he unveiled some pictures of a lady with no clothes on, they would die. The internet would be pass out. But it's Kenya Moore, and we okay with it. Some of us. I told y'all the other day, because people was like, Diva, there's no way she did that. And here we are, 48 hours, 24 to 48 hours later, and she did do it. She did something. They're not suspending her for nothing. So this principal, he said he got into teaching the kids because he knew there was more female teachers. The female to male teachers is 13-1. So he a whole predator. And the only reason why he got into education is because he knew he was going to have a greater pool of people to prey on. You can't make this stuff up. I think it needs to be harsher penalties on these men, or even if it's a female, who prey on people. I'm trying to figure out my words. I talked enough. It's Friday night. Somebody give me a what in the chat. What I need, y'all? I need a choo-choo. Hold aboard, everybody. It's Friday night trending topics. Going with the wind, fabulous. And twirl, and twirl, and twirl. Your girl did all of that. All of that. And now she's suspended. Okay? Going with the wind, fabulous. And the school principal, we're going to talk about it. Let me go ahead and load this train up so we could bring the people in and have a whole conversation. Hold on one second right now. Hey, Savannah. Hey, Wayne.
Hey, Diva.
Hey, Felicia. Hey, hey, E. Hey, Katrina. Hey, Dr. Love. Hey, Emmanuel. Hey, Tay-Tay. Hey, Julius. We got a packed house on a Friday night. I'm glad y'all hanging in there with me. Listen, we're going to talk about your girl, twirl and twirl. You know, you got to be careful where you do stuff. You want to act the fool at the airport, I want to say it's automatic federal charge. It's a federal crime. You better calm yourself down and know a little something. You want to cut up at the job? That's the workplace. Yeah, Diva, I got a haircut. I'm going on vacation, y'all. I'm getting vacation ready. Yeah, you play around. It's the workplace. What I can do in the street, I can't do on the job. You think it's a kiki and a ha-ha? She messed around and she found out. And if you see her 16-minute live, it was just all over the place. She not divorced. She not getting child support. She a single mother. She out here trying to do it. And people are making appointments at her salon and they canceling them. And that's not right. Well, it wasn't right what you allegedly did to this chick either. So you want your life to go right, but then you doing other people dirty. Y'all got to make that make sense. Kenya Moore suspended indefinitely from RHOA at the OS poster scandal. Kenya Moore has been suspended indefinitely from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Page 6 can exclusively state. As we previously reported, shocked party attendees at her Kenya Moore hair spa grand opening last Thursday with posters of series newcomer Brittany Edie allegedly performing OS. We were told Bravo cameras were rolling at the cast event. I'm sorry. We're rolling at the cast event. We're Moore 53 decided to unveil the explicit images. The recipient of the alleged SA remains unclear. Sorry, guys. We are told that Edie was not present for this display, but I'm going to tell you this. Michelle ATLian, she is a YouTuber. She lives in Atlanta, and she said Brittany was there. So Michelle was invited to this event, and then they rescinded the invite. Where do people do that at? What is with giving people invites and then taking it back? She said she was invited to the event, then they rescinded the invite, but she was over there anyway the day and the time of the event. So she was in her car filming from her car, the people going in, the people coming out, and and she saw the people talking outside the event after the alleged thing happened inside of it. So Michelle knew firsthand, and she knew early on that Kenya Moore was suspended and that this thing was true. It really happened. But again, because when people tell the truth, the people throw tomatoes at you. So a lot of people say, oh, stop it, Michelle, this, that, and the other. And here she is, because Michelle reported this suspension, I want to say a day ago. Yesterday or maybe the day before, but she did report it early on before it got to the mainstream. Meanwhile, Insider insisted to us that the explicit photos in question were readily accessible online. The Insider went on to claim that Edie had made threats to Moore using the word, pow pow before the event. Production said that was not true. No one was ever in jeopardy, and no weapon was ever on the set. And now they're currently doing an investigation. But while they're doing this investigation, they're saying that Kenya Moore is indefinitely suspended. Okay. I think that at the end of the day, either they're probably going to scrap the whole Sweet 16 season, or Kenya Moore is definitely going to be fired. And she may already know her outcome. She did this Instagram live and she pretty much said, I ain't going nowhere. Well, you may not be going nowhere, but you sure may not even be on the set of RHOA anymore. So, she likes to play with words, because after this happened too, she did a whole Diddy type situation talking about time will tell truth. She did do that. She did a time will tell truth. And she said, don't believe half of what you see and half of whatever little acronym she wanted to use. But now she's suspended. Okay. Savannah, you're up. Savannah, are you there? Okay. I don't know what's going on. Okay. Now.
Okay. You can hear me now? Okay.
Yes.
So it has been a very busy day on these social media streets, and it's unfortunate that this story is dominating our news, but our social media news. But there was no any other recourse or way. This had to be done. It's unfortunate, and I did see Kenya's come later video, her comeback. Um, and while I was listening to her, I started thinking of what shows are out there right now, and where did this depiction of the African American women come from? And I took it all the way back to The Apprentice with Omarosa, and
Mm,
I started thinking about how Omarosa was depicted as being angry and unstable and vindictive and someone that could not be trusted even amongst her peers. And I was trying to analyze what makes Kenya different from Omarosa,
mm,
because Omarosa doesn't have a large fan base as Kenya does, and but I don't see anything different from what Omarosa did back then versus what Kenya did now, because there was an audio leaked. I did hear an audio, and you could clearly hear guests in that attended this event speaking of the poster boards and the images that were on the poster boards.
mhm.
So for her to say that that was incorrect, that it was a made up story, that's incorrect, and she is playing on words. Um, but this is why the viewership has gone down for reality TV. Um, Women are, especially African American women, they're not their sister's keeper.
Ooh,
I don't know what it is that they have to this need to backstab each other and one up each other and have a need to be right. It's Kenya didn't have anyone in her circle that could have told her this was a bad idea. And
at
then
all.
in your place of business, I mean, I'm trying to figure out, and then that should tell her something. If you don't have any girlfriends or family members, and we all know Kenya's family relationships, but there had to be someone around her to let her know that this was a bad idea. To have it at your place of business, and then to have these props that undercut and really tore down another woman. I don't care if these pictures were already out there in the social media streets. I never seen them. I didn't know who this woman was, but it wasn't to be used as propaganda of malice and hate towards another woman. Um, it just it breaks my heart, because I do believe Kenya didn't really think this through. She didn't think it was going to she was going to receive the backlash that she is getting. But I think and Bravo is trying to clean their image. They are inundated with lawsuits. I mean, Angie just got off from his dealings with Brandy Glanville and that ultimate girls trip issue, and then Brandy came. Like, Bravo is trying to clean house, and she should have known better. Um, and Revenge Fee is illegal in the state of Georgia, so she's facing a mountain of troubles coming her way. And talking about fumbling your bag, this is just my heart breaks for her, but at the same time, there is no other recourse. There she cannot be. Um, I don't see her coming back, and I don't see why Bravo would. They honestly can't.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Yes, everybody, hit the like button. Wayne, you're up.
It's disturbing that a former Miss America would
Uh
stoop this low. Kenya is old enough to have known Vanessa Williams. And when Vanessa Williams won Miss America, and they exposed that Playboy picture and the hell that she went through, even losing her crown. So I don't know how Kenya could stoop that low to another woman, red, yellow, black, or green, don't matter. Especially in a professional setting like that. You know, it amazes me what people will do and not think there's not going to be any repercussions. She can kiss her shot probably goodbye. I think she's done. I'm not wishing that on her, but if she's already in the situation, if she doesn't get any business in that shop, rent still got to be paid.
Come on now.
And I'm sure she was banking on that check from RHOA. And now she has none of it. But that's gutter. To me, that's gutter. That's below low. That's gutter. And whatever happens to her, so be it. She doesn't know if this woman wasn't strong enough mentally. You know it could have happened. We could have been hearing this story a little bit different. That because somebody showed pictures, the person was so distraught that they unalived themselves. I don't know what she thought she could get from this. She could have possibly thought she was going to get business. I don't know what she was thought, but it's just baffling that she would even do something like that as a former Miss America. She done just twirled her way out of a job and some money.
She did. And we're not talking petty cash. We're not talking petty cash. You going to sit there and play with your $1 million check? Are you a fool? Felicia, you're up.
Thank you so much, Diva. You know, I think this is a topic, a situation that all of us can learn from. Whether you are with friends, you're at work, you're in the church, you're shopping, you're in a club, you're whatever. What we see or we see others doing, no, don't do it. Don't do it. I know these things happen at work. I know people go around sending pictures and all this other kind of stuff and doing this, and that. And you know what is wrong? And it's illegal.
Yeah, come on now.
It's illegal.
Yeah.
I understand that, she figured that her job, it was what you say, Diva, a he and a kiki, and this is a joke or whatever. No, it wasn't.
Come on now.
No. If it was in your house and you were hosting a party in your house and you decided to put up these posters, these posters, these photos. And also, I don't know if many of you heard the audio that went along with it. The things that she said was so gutter, so debasing, so disgusting. And then I did happen to listen to her, now whatever that was, her statement tonight. And I said to myself, you're talking about your daughter. She's a female. Hopefully she's going to grow up to be a wonderful young woman who will engage in lovemaking and personal, intimate relationships where she's fully giving consent to that other person. But that doesn't mean that person has the right to dishonor her, to embarrass her, to disrespect her, and post it somewhere.
Come on now, talk.
The third thing is, this was her business, like Savannah said. You went and destroyed your own business with your own wickedness.
Woo.
With your own darkness. You brought that trash in, and that trash told you what it was worth.
Oh,
how much was she getting paid? Well, what was it? How much was she getting paid?
Kenya Moore probably at the 2 million mark.
Okay, so if you shoot about 16 episodes, so that's about $200,000, $250,000. Was it really? Was it honestly? What do you say? Either she's dumb or stupid or both. She's both. And now she has to lawyer up. She has to lawyer up because she has to be able to figure out how to get some value from her agreement. Okay, not to be sued by the others, right? And let's say you and I have went to her shop and been exposed to that.
Come on now.
Okay, we wasn't going to some lingerie, some night garment shop. We're not walking in expecting to see something like that.
Right. No toy party. Come on now, you talking.
And like Wayne said, the great news is that this woman that she did it to was strong enough to withstand that kind of offense. But that doesn't mean she's not damaged. And she is lawyered up. So Miss Moore gonna have to pay for that too. So this manipulation about she being a single parent and she ain't getting no child support money and she put a lot of money in her business, those were the choices you made.
You better talk.
And you should have thought about it when you were going to your darker side and said, is it worth it? Clearly, it was not.
The dark side, Felicia. That could have been tonight.
Yeah, that's what her own home, her own place of business. I'm done.
The dark side. Whoo. Emmanuel, you're up.
Diva, I'm so glad we are being vindicated because they were dragging us last week saying, oh, Kenya would never. Yes, she would. For 10 years, she has crossed the line. She's always been problematic. She always talked about people's marriages. Then she got into this fake marriage, and all of a sudden her marriage was off limits. So she can dish it, but she can't take it. I told y'all last week that if this was true, she needed to be fired immediately, and NBC Universal needed to take a stance against Revenge Pete. She has done this salon opening 2,750 times. She cried about them not showing it last time, so she probably decided to do this now so that they would show it, but not only will they not show it, they probably are not even going to show her at all either. Nothing justifies what she did to Britney. I don't care. Even if Britney was a famous P-star, you violated someone's privacy like that. I don't know. I just can't wrap my head around that. I also want to say all roads lead back to Nene Leakes because Nene said if Kenya stays on the show, she will be the demise of the show.
Oh my God.
She's right. Yet again, Nene has been correct. I think it's sad that she disgraced her salon like that, which, by the way, she said that salon was going to be the legacy of her child. So I can't feel bad for her. It's ridiculous. It's evil. It's typical Kenya. Kenya Moore broke the law. Kenya went too far. So she's got to be gone. She ain't even brought anything to the table but a pretty face and problematic stunts. But it is sad that Kenya always feels the need to not only fight someone, but she really tries to destroy women's lives. Like if Miss Felicia said about, if you hear that audio, the way she's talking about Britney is just disgusting. This whole live that she did earlier today was a joke. She went in there saying that she will only talk about the show if she got 100,000 views. She knew that wasn't going to happen. She wants her business to be off limits, but in the posters that they showed, it looked like she was coming for Britney's insurance business.
You better talk, Emmanuel. Everybody out there listening, you better talk.
So what is this? What's this double standard? I personally think that the whole show needs to be canceled. because we got Kenya breaking the law, shutting down production. Portia is being blocked from filming anything. The newbies don't know how to do it. Just end it. And the last thing I want to do is give a shout out to Cynthia Bailey, because Cynthia has always been so unproblematic, and now she's getting a show on Hulu. So props to Cynthia.
Ooh, ooh. Stephanie M says she didn't break any laws. Stephanie, she did this at her place of employment. She works for Bravo. I cannot, whether the pictures are out there or not, I cannot take new photos of Felicia, blow them up, poster size, tell people they're coming to the opening of my event. This was not a toy party, an adult toy party. If you're going to an adult toy party, you expect adult toy things to perhaps go on. You're not going to be shocked. But if you're going to a hair opening, you're thinking, okay, you want to tell me the oil I could put on the sides to grow my edges back in? Maybe you're going to show me how to put my wig on, or a head wrap, how to keep my head protected at night. But what she did, where they do that at? And she legit, according to the audio, was coming for that girl business, and she in her own business, and then she gets on a live talking about, why are people coming for my business? Are you crazy? You just came for your another black girl business, whatever the girl is. I don't care what her ethnicity is. You came for another woman-owned business. You want to destroy her business, but you wonder why yours is not going well. And then you brought this darkness. Thank you for the word, Felicia. You brought this darkness into your opening of your business. You can't make that make sense. Tay, you're up.
What comes around and goes around, because a snake will bite you in the butt, and you got your karma right there, because you being mean, you being nasty, and you bring the trouble in there too. You destroy your own career, girl. You destroy your own legacy. I feel bad for your daughter too, and she see all this about you too. That's all, Diva.
Thank you. Dr. Love, you're up.
Yeah, so the first thing I thought when I was hearing, all these different things that was going on and that Kenya was doing and all the things that she have done, it just goes back to healing the inner child. And there's so much about Kenya's childhood that she has to heal, because it's like no matter what she do in life, I just feel like it'll never be right. And I'm not sure who the girl Brittany is, but the thing is, if Brittany would have drug her, like Portia did on that show, then she would have been looking surprised, if she would have beat her to the pulp. But it's just a shame at the end of the day that you did get on here and act as if, on this last little live you just did, and act as if I'm, this poor single girl or single mother who's raising a child, when it's like your business, first of all, and you said it right too, Diva, you should have been promoting them products. You've been had them products on RHOA. You should have been promoting them. And when everybody got on your live and got on your Instagram, please go buy, please go buy. You're waiting to the end now that you don't have a job. And now you online trying to promote a product, trying to promote.
Thank you. E, you're up. Dr. Love, you finished? E, you're up.
All right. Hey. I've heard several words tonight, and the first one I heard was demise. And I just really started thinking about what that word meant. And I just want us to all be clear because I am coming with a different perspective. These ratings have been on the steady decline since season 11, and nothing lasts forever. And I will never credit Kenya with the demise of the franchise. I said it as soon as the final cast photo was revealed. This configuration of women was never going to work. The magic formula was the cast from season 5 and 6. And so I love when people reach back and cherry pick these Lanithia quotes that Kenya declassed the show. Who said that? The former stripper and bully? What class did the show have other than the class Deshaun Snow, Lisa Wu, Candy Burris, Cynthia Bailey, and Sonia Ross brought to it? Because Nene was the stripper and the mistress turned wife. Kim Zodiac was the stripper and mistress ×2 turned wife, and we'll see what's going on with that. Phaedra was the quacky attorney accused of being the head of a car theft ring, allegedly, and a head doctor. Portia's the video vixen and the mistress ×3 turned wife, and then ex-wife, and now the second divorce is pending. So what I am saying is all of these characters on these ensemble casts are problematic in one way or another. And Kenya didn't make the show gutter. The show was in the gutter when she arrived. Nene, Kim, and Sheree made the show gutter, fighting outside of Target, choking one another, calling the police. If you go back and look at their interviews, oh my God, even at the radio station when they had all 6 of them together, they couldn't control themselves. So I'm not saying that Kenya helped, but she hopped on the bandwagon and saw where the train was going. And I also want us to keep in mind, this is how these reality shows garner ratings. It's the shock factor, because without these major conflicts, because if you think about it, ever since that season 4 trip where they went to Africa and then they had Africa Gate, every season after that, it has to be a gate, something controversy that gets people up in arms, and they specifically choose people who, and that's why they have those roles, people who, the characters who people love to hate. And I'll say it right now, because of those high conflicts, that's what made this franchise one of the best. But the viewership has been on a steady decline. The ratings have been dropping since season 11. And yes, Kenya has had her unflattering moments and very problematic moments, I will say. And if what is being alleged is true, then Kenya will cross that bridge when she gets to it, if we ever get there, or maybe she's gotten there already. I don't know. I like Kenya, and Kenya will acknowledge herself. She is not beyond reproach. So I cannot wait to see what happens. But for me, it's too soon to come to a judgment, because there are too many conflicting reports as to what was actually shown on the posters. And I cannot say if private images were shown. Now, I agree something happened, but to what extent? I cannot be sure. I'm still waiting for more information, and I've heard over and over, well, Kenya came for that woman's business. But like I said last week, Kenya does not have a history where she just would jump to this extreme first. So I don't know what Brittany did to help provoke the situation to this point, but I do know people are focused on the outcome and neglecting the beginning. And for me, and I know I may be in the minority, and I will, as you say, Diva, I will sit in this car alone. The beginning is important to me. Last thing, the hair spa. Kenya has posted her work. Kenya has posted people getting the face mask, the upper body massage, and getting the hair restoration treatments. She has posted the work, and she's shown that the hair spa is not simply about doing hair. If it is simply about the hair, then the stylist will bring in their own clientele, because that is liking to renting a booth. The spa is trying to sell an overall hair spa experience and catering towards natural hair, which is a very small niche. And so rather than bundles and wigs, and I agree with you, Diva, perhaps this was too gigantic of a reach, or too grand of an idea to rent this large of a space and go this upscale when speaking of luxury. I agree, because it's nothing wrong with starting off small and gradually building a little bit, and building a little bit, because now you have a hole in the boat and you're trying to plug it, and you need money. So I look forward to seeing how this is going to turn out.
I appreciate your thoughts, E. Let me just share screen. This is the Kenya Moore Hair Spa Instagram page. I guess there's a lot of promotion here of what's going on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see a lot of hairdos and everything here. That's the whole Kenya Moore Kenya Moore Hair Spa page. I see a lot of different dudes there. Katrina, you up?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Kenya came on the dang show lying. She been lying ever since she walked up on that show. Um, and yes, she has come for people jobs. She even basically calling her best friend dumb when she was asking Cynthia about her wine. But Cynthia business is still flourishing.
You better
You went up,
talk.
you went up in there. You brought this darkness to your salon, and then you go and do this infomercial talking about y'all. She's gonna discuss what's happening, but the only thing you're talking about is your salon, and you're a single mother. The man is not helping you whatsoever. You brought this on yourself. And who wants to go to a salon or to a spa when somebody doing some underhanded, dirty stuff? Kidding, it's a nasty piece of work. I'm sorry. That just go to show you can be beautiful on the outside, but you just royal and spotting in the inside. She have done some messed up stuff. Like, okay, you saying that she come back for people. She came back for Tanya after she had talked about Tanya before, and Tanya had that wig. But you brought the cookie lady there to mess up this woman's relationship, and you call this woman the C word. And then you threw Cynthia under the bus because she said Cynthia was the one that introduced the cookie lady. So you don't care about your friends either. You was on that show. You couldn't take it because Nene was there, and Nene was the star of the show. So Kenya, Candy, and Cynthia, they all banded. She used them all to band together to get Nene off the show. Because really and truly, Kenya don't care about neither one of them. You know, she can put on the front saying that Cynthia is her friend, but you basically call your friend dumb. You basically told Candy she making enough money. What more do you need? You brought Walter on the show, and when he didn't want to be with you or you paid him to be there, you tried to call the man the G word. Then you had this other man that you knew you was messing around with, but had folks thinking the man was crazy, but you still messing with the man. Kenya has did and said a lot of things, and the thing go back with Portia. You putting this thing in this girl's face, and she was telling you to stop doing it. She grabbed it and threw it out, and then you gonna put a bullhorn in my face, and then you didn't expect to get what you got? Kenya caused a lot of things. I have seen Kenya did a lot of stuff. Kenya have did the same thing with Nene when she lied and said Nene spit on her. That was a lie. Kenya is a nasty piece of work. I'm sorry. I'm just sorry to say this, because I don't want to disappoint anybody. But Kenya is a nasty piece of work. I've been watching this show from the beginning. Yeah, Nene was a stripper. She never denied saying she was a stripper. But the thing of it is, when she came on there, she left that stripper part out, and she always tell people she did not say I was never a stripper. She always told people she was a stripper, and she was the one that was rooting for Kenya to come on the show. But when Kenya came on the show, she said it. Kenya's gonna bring a lot to the show, but she also gonna be the demise of the show. I'm not saying that the show went all the way down because of Kenya, but now they have stopped filming, and they have stopped these people paychecks because of Kenya. And Portia got this stuff going on with her too, but they still didn't stop because of the situation going on with Portia. They still was still filming with Portia. So I can say that Kenya did bring the show down. Now this Bree person, I don't know what her former life, what she was doing and all that type of stuff. But if this is the kind of thing that you want to bring out on a person, You don't have to do it on your place of work or your place of business, because you put a dark spot on your place of business. You could have waited till y'all went on a girl trip or something like that, and you didn't even have to show that woman whatever she did, whatever poster you put up there. You didn't even have to do that. You could have got it with your words. They always say Kenya is a wordsmith, so you should have used your words to fight instead of bringing in a visual aid. You done brought this visual aid in, and now you suspended. Now you ain't getting that $2 million check. And you know you just said Mark wasn't paying nothing. So how you gonna pay for everything else for Brooklyn? Your hair care products. People might pull out of endorsement with you because of the stunt that you pulled. Well, I hope they don't do it to her, but they might do it. You messed up your own line. You messed up your own brand. And now you're losing $2 million all for a stunt to try to show on the show. Knowing Bravo don't really, Andy really don't even care for you like that. So he's not finna go to bat for you like that. And plus he got his own problems to deal with. All I can say is good luck, girl. I hope you bounce back on your feet. And like Tay said, what goes around comes around. And come back in a big boomerang. That's all I got, Diva.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Dr. Love, did you go yet?
Yeah, I have started, but my computer course went out.
Okay.
So yes, I just wanted to add some more things too. And I heard that they had fired production, which I'm quite sure they had a lot to do with this, but nobody is slow to say, you see what happened to with Candy and Phaedra. So you should have used your own brain and read the room, because Bravo is already in trouble for things of this nature. So even if this did go on 10 to 15 years ago or whatnot, this year is not the year. They have enough of lawsuits, enough of women coming after them for things like this. And then the main thing I wanted to talk about was Brittany business. To say you talking about tearing down somebody else's business, this lady has to lawyer up for the simple fact that now you may have clients that for sure that is hers, or new ones that will try to come onto her in different ways that is not appropriate, and things along that line. So at this point, you have destroyed someone else's business, whether you know it or not. And who knows, how her mental is as well, because she haven't came out and said anything. So it's just really sad that Kenya did this to her. And then timing off for not only it is an opening for a hair care, but timing off for Bravo as well. So yeah, that's it.
Thanks, moderator, for taking out the trash. Word to that right there, right? Listen, I will say this. When as I do this, let me just mute. When I do this, come on, you better tell him, Sasuke. Block them, kick them out, because we're not doing that over here. We have adult conversations over here. When I do this, I'm not one where if I said something yesterday and I get more evidence today, I'm going to stand 10 toes down what I said yesterday. No, I'm going to come to y'all and say, you know what? I said that yesterday, but based upon this new information, this is how I'm going to handle this today, or this is how I feel, so forth and so on. I told y'all from the onset of this Kenya Moore story, I said, where there's smoke, there's fire. I just can't see nobody tweeting something so egregious and it was a lie. She messed up. And if she was smart, she would have lawyered up already and she wouldn't have did this live. If she was smart, she would have lawyered up already and she would have never said that statement she put out the other day. Talking about, I never did this, or I never did that, or I never did so forth. She was doing wordplay. And it's going to come back to bite her in the butt. And she got audio, unless she wants to claim it was AI. There's audio of her saying nasty, filthy things about this girl. I don't care what that girl did in the past. If I sit up and admit myself, like Nene Lick said, she said, yeah, I was a stripper. But even if she says, yeah, I'm a stripper, and you go find pictures of when she stripped way back when, it's still not up to you to go and expose these pictures. And go ahead, Felicia.
If I may, I just want to bring it down to ground level. You know, you come into the office to go to work today, and in the conference room is 10 blown up photos of you having some intimate moments with your partner. This is the workplace. This is not your home. This is not a private party. So what the issue here is what she did was illegal.
Come on now.
It's harassment. And she had her employer present to film it. Yes, all of these other horrible things have happened or not happened. They were storyline or whatever. But this storyline broke the law.
Come on now.
And that's the difference. If I go into my place of employment and they got blow up pictures of me in the conference room, well, we all know I'm going to retire very wealthy, okay? And a couple of people got to get fired. A couple of people. They're very kind to her to suspend her. Because the reality is she should have been fired.
You better talk.
For real. I'm not talking YouTube fired. I'm talking really fired. You're gone. You're done with.
Felicia, you better talk. It's illegal. And it's like, and the dance around just because it's Kenya Moore is baffling to me. Preach, Felicia. She said, tell the people, talk to the people. It's baffling to me. It's when it's a personality that we like, they can break the law all day long and we'll make excuses for them. Well, I mean, this, that. You know, the other night when we talked about the pastor, the bishop, the preacher, whatever. Well, no, I'm going to wait. Wait for what? So he could violate? Let me really like it.
I think if people look at it on a personal level and just imagine you went to work and those photos were of you, and you wanted to have some kind of justice, and you would have beat the person down probably, and then tell the boss you better fire that A and get him out of here.
Right.
Period. So this to me is a no-brainer, a no-brainer. So they were kind enough to suspend her, and she comes up and she is employing her followers to support her because she's a single parent. She has her daughter to take care of, and they're coming after my business. No, ma'am, is what you did at work. So you should have lawyered up and got quiet, because we know she didn't have a lawyer, like you said, because she wouldn't have went live tonight. The lawyer would have told her, no, you shut all that down.
Don't shut
all that down. Mm-hmm.
Silence is golden. Don't do it. And if you do go live, it's not to address anything. Promote your business. Promote your business. And Special K, you are right, but see, a lot of people don't keep it real. If you're a real friend, you'll tell her she's wrong. First of all, if anybody, I heard that all of those reality stars, they have their own producer. I'm sure she told the producer she was about to do something crazy. So, and I'm sure other people knew. And who blew up these disgusting posters? Who blew them up? But either way, though, you know, to have a friend and to have somebody know that was what you were about to do, and they encouraged that, like Felicia said, I think if it was Felicia, some more people need to be getting suspended indefinitely or fired.
But you can't tell Kenya nothing. They be trying to talk to Kenya. She don't listen to anything they say because she thinks she's smarter than the ones that's on the show. Because Cynthia will be telling her not to do certain things, and she still do it. You know, the thing with her and Nene, they was trying to get them to solve that. She don't listen. Kenya don't listen. So they probably would have told her not to do it, but she's still going to do what Kenya wants to do. Well, and now she's just getting the backlash of it.
Well, she feeling it now. Listen, it ain't even been a whole week yet, and she's feeling in her pockets already. That speaks volumes. That speaks volumes. Volumes. It hasn't been 72 hours and she was up on that Instagram. The way she spoke, it's already hitting her pockets. Because she talked about how much she had to drop out of her pocket to get that salon up and running. She did it to herself, though. We're going to go ahead and roll into this next story. The predators are everywhere. I don't know what else to say. You know what? That's how they got rid of Carlos King. He was on the lie and demise of Candy and Todd. He sure was. So she know how this scenario played out. I don't know what she was thinking. She was that desperate to up the ante for a storyline on this thing. Bananas. Pervy principal at a Bronx high school investigated over deeply disturbing harassment claims from fed up staff. A Bronx school is engulfed in an scandal centered around its pervy principal, who stands accused of SHing female staff and having an inappropriate relationship with the assistant principal, the Post can exclusively state. The Department of Justice is investigating numerous deeply disturbing complaints from staff at Dream Yard Prep High School against Principal Anthony Santiago and Assistant Principal Ms. Vasquez. The complaints obtained by the Post includes claims that one staff member was frequently and unwittingly subjected to graphic details of Santiago and Ms. Vasquez's amazing sex life, then later warned she could be fired for knowing too much. So look at these two matching sweaters, okay? That's them on the page there. Principal and assistant principal. Another fed-up staff member says Santiago instructed her and a group of young female teachers to rate teaching candidates by their attractiveness and suggested another wear tight pants to make the boys do something in their pants, per the complaints. The teacher who filed the complaint and spoke to the Post on a condition of anonymity claimed Santiago told staff at a new teacher orientation last year that he had chosen a career in education because he learned the ratio of women to men in the elementary school staff was 13-1. She added that things started to get a little weirder when Santiago called her into the office, pulled out some sexy woman's clothing and said, "You will look good in this." He started asking me to go to hiring events to find new teachers. Afterward, his first question was, what did they look like? Was she cute? She told the Post. He would just keep going. Are they attractive? Santiago, who's also accused in the complaint, of pressuring staff to falsify attendance records and parent-student surveys, did not respond to calls or emails from the Post. He was assistant principal from 2017, but assumed leadership of the school in 2023, according to his website. Vasquez, who joined the school in the 2023 academic year, denied all allegations to the Post, adding that her relationship with Santiago was strictly professional and claiming that anything alleged otherwise was fake. Dream Yard Prep has an arts integrated curriculum that emphasizes problem solving and critical thinking. Its majors include theater, dance, visual art, and music. The school went from being a priority school, one of the lowest performing in the state, to a rise school in 2018, a distinction bestowed on improving schools. Its graduation rate the previous year was 68%, close to the city average of 74%, as reported by the New York Times. However, for the current school year, it gains a score of 34 out of 100, and it ranked 301 of 533 New York City public schools by the U.S. and World Report. In a series of text messages allegedly between Vasquez and a Dream Yard staff member, the assistant principal divulged explicit details of her relationship with Santiago, included in the complaint. "We had sex again. He blinked inside me," Vasquez allegedly told the 22-year-old staff member in one text message sent on January 29th this year. "We can't let anyone suspect anything," she added, referring to a relationship with the principal. And another message dated November 2023, Vasquez told her new colleague that Santiago told me today that he wants to have a baby, according to the complaint. He's always telling me how he's in love with me. Then he came back to bed and cuddled me. He opened the car door for me all the time. He was speaking Spanish, LOL. It was cute. We did a lot of cute activities. I'm glad you had a good time. You needed it. Did you get time to rest? No, LOL. And the S was amazing. Let's see if my blank comes. Do you want to get pregnant? I'm going to get pregnant, she wrote in another message. The woman who spoke to the Post on the condition of anonymity said she was constantly uncomfortable but feared her job as Vasquez was her boss. She continued to accept her messages and calls at all hours of the night and on weekends. In her complaint, she said the pair's behavior toward her changed drastically when Santiago found out that Vasquez has been divulging details of their relationship. Vasquez says she was going to have the principal look through my personal phone to see if there was anything on it about their alleged affair. She told the Post, adding that she never handed over her phone. She stated, "This might result in me getting fired." Speaking to the Post, Vasquez claimed the allegations against her were fabricated and suggested the motive for making them was staff being unhappy with feedback she had given them about their work. I have been having issues with the staff in terms of keeping people accountable, Vasquez said. I would say this is retaliation. The Department of Education spokesman Nathaniel confirmed in a statement to the Post that the allegations are under investigation. These allegations are deeply disturbing, and we have zero tolerance for harassment, he said. A spokesperson for the Special Commissioner of Investigation told the Post that it had also received numerous recent complaints regarding Principal Santiago before referring them to the Department of Education Office of Special Investigations. Jean Yard was previously at the center of another scandal in 2015 when a 10th grade teacher, Jonathan Bloom, tried to arrange an S encounter with a 14-year-old who turned out to be an undercover cop. He was later sentenced to 6 months in jail, according to the Wall Street Journal. This school is problematic, but again, here you got people at work that don't get it, that are doing inappropriate things at the job. Savannah, you're up. So, okay, go ahead, Savannah.
Oh boy. Again, I'm sorry. Again, I'm going to have to resort to this. They are not properly vetting professionals, and I'd say that in quote, because here is a principal and an assistant principal. I didn't catch in the story, Diva, if they were married or not. So not only were they not doing their jobs, but they were also not being faithful to their partners. I can see why we have, like yesterday's stories with the young man and his issues with the coach. I see why our children are not safe and not being taught in these schools. I did see a story earlier this year when Mayor Adams was in trouble for one of the things that he has done lately, that he has proposed to cut the city school budget this year and next year. And it's the ones that get hurt are our children, especially in large cities like New York, where they're overpopulated. And this is sickening. It's sad. It's the Department of Education definitely has a lot of work to do. But when you have people like Mayor Adams and the governor who, doesn't know how to properly identify her students there, it's going to be a loss, and the ones that lose is our children.
Wayne, you're up.
Can you pass me on this one, Diva?
Yeah, sure. Emmanuel, you're up.
It's such a disgrace. I agree with what Savannah said. is unbelievable that this happens. I'm gonna need them to lose all the licenses that they have, and I need I need charges to be brought up against these people because,
Yeah, very sad, very sad. You're
You know, my heart goes out to those teachers because it's one thing to have to focus on the students and the learning and to make sure that it is engaging and that the kids are retaining the information, and to know that your review is influenced by how much someone likes you or the way that you look. That's very problematic because you, you hear it so often that the criteria and the scale of how teachers are evaluated has changed over the years. And so we already know, based upon the story you did yesterday, that there are a lot of classroom management opportunities because so many children are behind. Now, we heard this school, I believe you said they were turning this school around, right? So it's we can't even acknowledge that part because everything that you did is you basically poured toilet water over all of the great things that you accomplished. Similar to what Savannah said, ultimately the kids will suffer, but also that district in that school, they're going to lose a lot of teachers at that school. Because now it's an uncomfortable work environment. He has offended or violated multiple people in this same school, if I got the story correct. And so for me, it would just be an unpleasant working environment. And my heart goes out to those ladies, and I hope that they get the justice they deserve.
Yeah. Felicia, you're up.
Oh my. I don't have to tell you folks that this is a failing school. I don't have to. You already know it from the leadership. What did they say? The rot starts in the head. Well, clearly this principal is overly sexualized, and so God help those young men and women who are being victimized by his presence. I can imagine how he greets these young people, what he says to them, how he manipulates their grades if they do this and do that. So I looked at the data, folks. You know, I looked at the data. You know that. And it's as heartbreaking as last night. So this school, on a scale of a 10, and this is a preparatory school, so this isn't a general public school. That means that the teachers in this school are compensated very nicely. There are 333 students in grades 9 through 12. This school ranks a 3 out of a 10. 2 out of the 10 kids, out of every 10 kids that passed their academic basic classes, 3 out of 10 are college ready. 3 out of 10 show academic progress. After 4 years, 84% of them graduate, but they do not graduate with a Regents diploma. 21% are participating in AP classes. So 21% would be about 65 kids in the junior, senior year group. Then you have how many kids are actually taking the SAT or the ACT or preparing for it? 27%. How many are pursuing college? 58%. How many actually go? 20%. How many go to a 2-year college or vocational program? 38%. This hurts. This hurts because data, as I shared last night, shows you what outcomes would be. So not only are these children failed by their curriculum and the teachers, But as E so eloquently just said, the teachers aren't ranked on ability to teach, to engage students. It's how you look. It's if you're willing to go along with, that probably determines whether or not you get a raise or not. So the chancellor, David Banks, he's a very conservative and very forthright person. I expect that this principal and his woman have already been told they're out. They're going the way of Kenya Moore, out on the street. I don't expect them to be at work on Monday. It's a wrap and it's over. And if any of you have family members in that school, I suggest that you tell them to look for a new place in the fall, because they are not going to turn it around in enough time for your child or your family member to have success in college or vocational school or whatever they want to pursue as adults.
So sad. I appreciate you, Felicia. Yeah. Tay, you're up.
I say this is disgusting, nasty. You were supposed to protect our children. And you supposed to be the principal too? Shame on you. You just a predator. That's what you is. Just a predator hunting prey. That's all, diva.
I appreciate you, Tay, and you said that right. Just a predator. Julius, you're up.
This food is gross. Gross. I know we all agree that this year was the year of exposure. But dang, it's living up to that phenomenon. But this is not new of what goes on to the schools. There was a scandal 2 years ago of a former teacher that I knew messing with a student. But not just the teacher. The dean, vice principals. Oh, yes. And then some of my classmates have come out and said that the way that they were looked at, especially the young ladies, that they felt that they were looked at a certain way. We can kind of figure out that way. And they said it makes sense. And to that former student that graduated 4 years after I did, sharing her story. It makes sense because you never know who was among you. This man is gross. He should be ashamed and lose his job.
Okay.
And karma may not happen right now. But one thing about karma, it's a sneaky MFer. That's it. That's all.
I appreciate you. Katrina, you're up.
Yeah. He's not ashamed. He took that job just so he can do what he wanted to do. That's exactly what he wanted to do. Most time when you have men that's over a lot of women and they're in the lead position, they would play that part. They would try to dominate to get over on a woman. It happens so many times, not just in the school system, in the military system, in a lot of places. When you got men that's over these women and over these girls, they would try to dominate. They would try to manipulate them. They would try to use them. And this is no different than what they always have done. I'm not saying all men, but most men. Anytime they got a position that's over you and they know that you need raises, they know that you need to, perform well on your jobs or whatsoever. So if you don't put out, they won't give you the raise. They will put something down on your paper. They will put down a bad mark or anything, showing the reason why they're not giving you your raises, because you don't want to do what they want you to do. It's sad, it's sick. And if he's looking at these women like that, I'm quite sure he's looking at these girls, because these girls' bodies now look growner than 21-year-olds. So there's no tape, ain't no telling what he's doing with those students and the teachers and whatsoever. And he's disgusting, he's nasty, and I'm so glad they called him out. And to the person that was sleeping with him saying that he did that inside of her whatsoever, and you telling people about it, girl, please. This man is trash. And if you do have a child by this man, I'm not gonna call your child trash, but you sleeping with trash. And what they say, birds of a feather flock together. You attracted what you are. So you need to let that alone. That's all I got, Diva.
I appreciate you. Ooh, y'all, what a conversation tonight. I'm gonna roll right into this story. It's an interesting one. Let me see if I hope I didn't kick out of it. Okay.
Nominated actor who's been a staple on our screens and in our hearts since the 80s.
You added the hearts, and I second that. We all came to know Malcolm-Jamal Warner after his breakout role as Theo Huxtable, of course. And since then, Malcolm has showcased his talents, including most recently in dramas like Accused and the first responder series 911.
Well, Malcolm is also a Grammy-winning recording artist. His new project is a podcast called Not All a Hood, or Nah, for short.
When we talk about the Black community, we tend to talk about the Black community as a monolith. But there's so many levels and factions of the Black community. And what we want to do with this podcast is to really, acknowledge and talk about the different facets of being Black.
Malcolm-Jamal Warner, it is good to see you.
You as well.
Oh, my gosh.
I feel like I've spent so much of my life in this building.
Well, you grew up here.
Lived here. Yeah, I grew up here. Yeah.
You really did.
You guys grew up
We grew up together.
Yeah.
A lot more like his dad. But here's the thing. I mean, you have so much experience in front of the camera, behind the camera, and yet you say doing not what you do with two other hosts.
Yeah.
You feel you're most vulnerable. Well, why is that?
Yeah, but I think, one, because I'm hosting it with two friends of mine, Lucy Baraka and Candace Kelly. And, we have created a safe space for the three of us to really talk and be honest about, the things that, we feel about, the community and what have you. So there are times where, I know there are things that I say that won't necessarily jive with, a lot of people. But this is a place where we want to be able to discuss all lanes of the Black community. And, all of those lanes don't necessarily agree all the time, but this is a place where we can have civil discourse and respectful challenge.
What a great idea.
Places left.
Yeah. And this is the place we wanted to be able to do that because, I mean, obviously my history, the way I came, into this business was a show that had such an impact on, culture, everything, like white America, Black America, America. And just as that show and that family could not represent all of Black people, right? Just like Good Times cannot represent all of Black people. There's so many of those lanes that coexist.
Yeah.
And even within those different lanes of the Black community, we can acknowledge each other, and even if we don't agree, we can still acknowledge that respectfully, that we are all part of the Black culture.
I admire that so much. You could have easily been like, drop the mic, I'm good. I'm for everybody, for the culture, I did this. But you've expanded. You got music, this podcast, poetry. Where did all of that come from? What in your upbringing helped you realize that you can do all of those things and keep evolving, if you will?
I think a lot of it had to do with my mom. I tell the story all the time, and I'll continue to tell it till my dying day.
We haven't heard it.
When Cosby first hit, I was 14 years old, and the numbers were. It was a phenomenon out the box.
Yeah. Sure.
And I'm 14, and my mom says to me, "Listen, baby, it's great that this show is the phenomenon that it is, but you know how this business is. This show could be over next year." She said, "What are you going to do when the show's over?" She said, "I can type. I can always get a job. But what are you going to do when the show's over?" So it's always had me thinking about longevity and knowing that being seen as a child star and then being taken seriously as an adult actor may not be a smooth transition. So I was always thinking about life after Cosby.
And she was your manager.
She was my manager for a long time.
Pamela knew what she was talking about.
Man, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm still here.
Yeah. Not just here, but so many iterations of you.
Yeah.
Like I was a Malcolm Daddy fan.
Oh, yeah, so many iterations.
Yes.
Yeah. And I've got my head on straight. My soul and dignity is intact. Like I've had a really wonderful journey, and a lot of that really had to do with my mom and my dad as well.
The topics on the podcast. What do you got? What are some of the topics you guys cover?
Oh man, so the first episode just dropped yesterday, and there's a whole big thing about use of the N-word.
Y'all go there.
Oh yeah. Oh no, it's the clip went viral. Like people on social media are, again, many of them agreeing, many of them disagreeing.
Yeah.
We talk about twerking. We talk about mental health in the Black community. Which
this is great.
Taboo subject. So yeah, we cover a lot of ground.
You got Father's Day coming up.
Yeah,
your
happy Father's
7-year-old
Day.
daughter.
Thank you. I'm actually gigging. I've got a poetry gig in Atlanta at City Winery.
Really?
Yeah. Poetry versus hip hop.
Any inspiring words for us as we do a commercial?
Wow, sure. Wow.
Put you on the spot there.
Vulnerability can be a scary thing, even when we're on the mend. Black boys boast bravado not to seem broken, and often so do Black men.
All right.
I don't know how much more time I have. I got home more, but
wow. Malcolm-Jamal Warner, it is so good to see you.
Hey, you too.
Please come back.
Too, brother.
The Not All Hood podcast is available to stream right now wherever you get your podcast.
Nah.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the.
Yes, Sasuke, he did. I do remember that story. It was pretty sad. Listen, guys, if you didn't hit the like button on the way in, hit the like button on the way out. I appreciate y'all spending time with me this Friday night. Thank you so much. Listen, guys, maybe I'll see y'all tomorrow. Depends on if I finish packing real early. Anyway, listen, good night and goodbye, everybody. I appreciate y'all. Hit that like button.
Do not cheat the divorce right there. Choo choo and Fifi. Bye bye.
Choo choo.